I was holding back my tears. I was keeping myself composed. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how it's gonna end. I wanted to build the plot, you know, like add the suspense. This is like 2 years in the making. Oh my gosh. Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Gianna Lian and we are back with actually the first reading vlog of 2026. This is the first one. I actually just realized that. That's so fun. Anyways, this is a spoiler-free reading vlog. I thought to go into the new year, I could ask you guys and include you guys in today's reading vlog by asking what your favorite of all-time 5-star reads are. So then I can read your guys' 5 stars and see if maybe they can be a 5-star for me too, or if I'm gonna love them, or if I'm not gonna love them. Like, I just wanted to connect with you guys a little bit. And if these are some of your favorite books, then you can actually see my live reaction of like if I like them or not. I don't know, I thought it could be fun and I love including you guys in my reading vlogs, so that is the vibe for today's video. If you do love watching reading vlogs and you are newer around here, I do have a playlist linked down below where I have all my reading vlogs in one spot that you guys can watch. Anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbing. My reading vlogs are already so long because I love to talk. So we are gonna go pick up our first book from the bookstore because yes, I do have to go buy it. I didn't already own it. It is very anticipated. You will see in the montage clips. It's a good one, you guys. But you guys absolutely delivered with your recommendation. Thank you guys so much for everyone who participated. I obviously sadly cannot get to all of them, but I definitely wanted to choose a variety and include as many people as I could. And if I do read yours, comment down below. But anyways, roll the montage of me going book shopping yesterday to go pick up our first read. Dun dun dun. You guys, I think this is my last final straw of me trying to become a fantasy girly. I've just bought in so many fantasy books and I've hated every single one of them. So you guys have been recommending this to me for the past like 2 years now. So we're gonna give Shatter Me by an author's name I literally cannot pronounce and I don't want to butcher it because it's so loved in the book community. We're gonna give it a try. I'm very excited because you guys love this book and because you guys have been hounding me to read it, but at the same time it is fantasy. So I'm very, very nervous. But if I was gonna include it in any video, I'm happy that it's this one so then I can be reading one of your guys' favorite reads. And we're just gonna like kind of jump into it. We're just gonna jump into it blindly. I feel like I kind of know the premise and like the vibes of it because it's so popular. Let's start this. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to join the family. That was a very chaotic intro, but just keeping it real and authentic over here with you guys, okay? Okay, first official update time. Don't mind my pajamas. We're just staying cozy this reading vlog. Let's be so for real. You know the vibes already over here and how I like to be comfy. But anyways, let's talk first updates because obviously this is a very intense book for me because I don't read fantasy. We made it to chapter 6, page 33. So like we're already kind of motoring through it in a way. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm very hooked. I'm enjoying the writing. I'm enjoying just kind of the foreshadowing of it all. I don't want to explain too much of what the book's actually about and like what's going on in the book, but there's just so much foreshadowing of like the outside world that we still don't know. It's like very foreign to us as readers and it's kind of foreign important to at least Juliet in a way, because she's been in confinement for so long, and then Adam obviously just got here. So the book kind of starts off with Juliet kind of telling us that she's been locked in confinement for so long, she hasn't talked to anyone, but Adam is brand new to this. He doesn't know the protocols, he doesn't know the rules, he doesn't know how things work. He's also very confused. So there's just so much unknown still, and I know we're only 6 chapters in, so we're slowly gonna start to learn more obviously, but as of right now it just keeps me guessing, and I'm loving that. And I'm also really enjoying the author's writing, which I was very nervous about because fantasy, just for some reason, it just doesn't compute in my brain. Like, I just don't understand it, and I think that's obviously like a me thing, but this one I am, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's kind of like the first update. My thoughts are kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that, but all you need to know is that I'm liking it much better than I thought I was going to. And I did save one quote in my notes, so that's also how you know that I'm enjoying it. The quote is on page 25, and it says, "The moon understands what it means to be human, uncertain, alone, created by imperfections," which I just loved the writing of that. I'm excited to continue. I'm excited to see where the story goes and how Juliet and Adam are going to get to know each other a little bit more, because Juliet's like so reserved, and obviously she hasn't been in human contact, and Adam's just like, what's your name? Like, who are you? Like, why are you here? And but we'll learn why, and yeah, I'm very excited. There's currently a snowstorm going on, so this is where I'll be, and I'll definitely keep you updated. Yay! Okay, wow, is this book picking up, you guys? I've been reading on and off all afternoon, and I was just walking on my walking pad while reading, and I had to stop to give you guys this update because I don't want to binge it and get too far into it without giving you guys a little update on like how I'm feeling, you know? So we're pushing to the halfway point already. Again, I'm just hooked to it. The chapters are so short, which I'm absolutely loving. I'm really enjoying the author's writing, and I know it's a young adult fantasy, so I think that's maybe why I'm actually understanding the writing and the world building for once in my life, because it's for young adults and it's not like an adult fantasy. But either way, besides the point, I now kind of have a better grasp on like what's kind of going on in the whole book, because towards the beginning we had Juliet and Adam kind of stuck in this room together, and I thought something completely different on who Adam was and like why he was there. I was completely wrong in the first update, so we kind of got more backstory on that. So far Juliet is still, I keep saying Juliet, but it sounds like I'm saying Julia. I'm just saying it in a weird way. She is in the reinstitution? What is it called? I forget what it's called. Reinstitution? She's basically locked in this institution for people like her that have dangerous powers that should be locked away from society and stuff like that. But in turn, she has met Aaron Warner, which I've heard that name so many times over on social media and in the book community, and now I finally understand who this Aaron Warner person is. But she's finally met him. He seems like a very dangerous man, but we don't know too much about him yet because we're only 122 pages in, chapter 21, and I'm not getting good vibes from him. I don't personally like him so far. I do really like Adam, and I'm hoping to know a little bit more about him because there's a lot of foreshadowing going on, and apparently they know each other from like a long time ago, so I need to know more information on that. Either way, I'm very hooked to it. I'm enjoying it. I could definitely see myself right now in this moment continuing this series. It just all depends on what really goes down in this one, because she's off to a good start with me right now. Am I actually enjoying a fantasy book right now, you guys? We should all be screaming and cheering and going ballistic right now, because I never thought to see this day. I never thought this day was gonna come, to be completely honest. My car lighting is clearly not on my side currently. I don't know what it's doing, okay? It's early in the morning. I just finished my fasted cardio, and I did it again, you guys. We hashtag kind of binged this book. We have 100 pages left, I think exactly. We're on page 222, chapter 34. I don't know. I don't know the direction of where this book is trying to go, is what I'm trying to say. And also, I'm realizing now that a lot of these clips are me reading at work and me reading in my car. Very interesting. For once, we have a reading vlog where I'm not reading in my bed. Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. Stop getting off track, Gianna. I don't know where this book is trying to go. And I know that this is the first book in the series, and I know that it is a pretty big series, so she doesn't want to shove so much into the first book. But at the same time, every chapter I finish, I'm like, okay, so we're getting somewhere, but like, what now? Things are just extra dragged out. But it's not boring per se, so I feel like that's why I'm not hating it, but I'm also like, okay, and what's next? So those are kind of my thoughts. But let's just say Juliet and Adam, they're a very interesting dynamic. I don't want to say what has just happened because I'm kind of shocked, but now I'm interested to see on where this book's gonna leave off in their situation and where it's gonna pick up from, because we also just got introduced to a new character that's close to Adam. I'm trying to word my words so I'm not like giving too much, but I'm curious to see on where he falls into the story, and maybe in the next book he's more of a character in that. I don't know. We have 100 pages left. I'm gonna finish it and then we will see if I rated it 5 stars. I don't know. Second to last chapter and then the epilogue. Cringe. What an ending. What an ending. Huh. Okay, so we need to talk about my thoughts. I don't think that this is gonna be a 5 star. Well, I know it's not a 5 star because I'm not getting the 5 star immediate feelings, but this was really good and I really enjoyed it. I'm still so amazed that I finished a fantasy book and I actually liked it. This is like a huge accomplishment for me. 2022 Gianna would be like, oh my gosh, never thought this would happen. Hi, Rosie. Rosie wants to say hi. Just a little sleepy baby. Anyways, I think I'm gonna rate this a 4 out of 5 stars. Now my rating could change. This is just like an immediate rating, but I loved it enough for it to be more than a 3.5, but I didn't love it enough for it to be like a 4.5 or anything like that. I think moving forward in the series that it's gonna get much better. It's gonna get much more chaotic and we're gonna get more. This is obviously just the first book, so we really needed that foundation to set up these characters, set up the world. Obviously that's kind of how it is with any series, but because it's fantasy, this is kind of still new to me, and I feel very content with how the first book ended, and it makes me so much more excited to get into the second book because we ended off on a good note, but I know it's not going to stay good because there is still a lot left unsaid, and I'm just so happy that you guys recommended this to me for this specific video, so then it really pushed me to actually give it a try. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the writing. I think how this author set up Juliet as a character, I just love her, and the writing style, it was relatable but like sad but funny, and there was just so many good things about it. So we're gonna rate it a 4 out of 5, but now we need to figure out what book we are going to read next. I obviously have so many suggestions and recommendations from you guys. I want to choose them all and read them all, but we just can't read them all, sadly. So I'm kind of debating between a few, but I do kind of miss reading on my Kindle. I can't lie. So going through our list, I think we're gonna pick up One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. All of her books are available on Kindle Unlimited, and when I was at the bookstore buying Shatter Me, I did want to pick up this book as well because I had a feeling I was gonna read it in this reading vlog, but they didn't have the physical copy at my Indigo at the time. They didn't have a lot of the books I was looking for. Because I'm feeling in the mood to read on my Kindle, we're gonna read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think this actually may be the one with like the husband goes missing in a plane and then he's presumably dead because they never found the plane or never found out what happened to him. So then the wife kind of moves on with her life, and like years later she remarries and kind of has a whole completely different life, and the husband kind of just shows back up and is like, hey, are we gonna pick up where we left off? But meanwhile she's like a completely different person and has like a completely different life now. I'm pretty sure that this is the book that I'm thinking of. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favorite authors ever, so I'm not too worried about what it's actually about, and yeah, we're gonna get this one started. And this one was recommended by It's Kenzie Ray. She actually recommended a lot of my favorites and a lot of other books that I was interested in, so she was a queen. But let's get into One True Loves. First update time, you guys. We made it pretty far before I'm giving you guys this first update, I can't lie, but it seems like this book is kind of split up into different sections. At least right now we just got to the second section. I was right about the little mini kind of synopsis that I gave you before we actually started this. The whole concept that I was trying to explain to you was correct. That is the plot of this book. We have our main character, Emma, and like I said, she married and fell in love with her high school sweetheart, Jesse. So that's kind of how the book started. That timeline kind of just went by super quickly from when they met to when they got married. They were on their honeymoon. They kind of started their own adult lives together. They ended up moving out to LA together, going to school out there, and then finding big adult jobs out there. And they were kind of getting ready to almost settle down into the next stages of their adulthood, but that's when Jesse's helicopter ended up going missing and supposedly crashing. So that was the first section of the book, which isn't a spoiler because we all knew that. It's just giving context of how that came about. But now we officially made it to the second section, and this is page 84. There's no chapter number for this. It's 22% of the way, but this one's Emma and Sam. And we kind of got little mentions of Sam at the beginning of the book, but Sam was one of Emma's classmates that worked at her family's bookstore part-time. So Emma kind of knew him and they were kind of friends, but it didn't really go more than that. But now I'm thinking there is a lot more to them than I thought. And this section as a whole seems to be kind of how Emma is dealing with her grief, presumably because Jesse is dead and that was the love of her life. So now she's kind of picking up the pieces and going through the stages of grief, kind of learning how to move forward without the closure of knowing what actually ended up happening to Jesse. So I feel like this is where we're gonna get really, really heavy into the topics of grief. So I would definitely check the trigger warnings before you get into this book. I think Taylor Jenkins Reid is going to really pull up my heartstrings now, but with us being 84 pages into it already, I'm obviously hooked. The writing, no surprise, I'm loving it, and I'm just very curious to see what this section of the book is going to entail. That's what's going on. I feel like it's just gonna get crazier, and it's super fast paced for what it is right now. That's your first update, and we're gonna continue reading because I'm enjoying it. This is such a busy street. I don't know why I'm trying to film on this street right now, but I need to give you guys an update because we just got out of the coffee shop. That was so much fun, by the way. This is definitely your sign to just like take yourself out on a little coffee date. I just felt so calm and just like zen. I literally got into the definition of reaching flow state with that whole like trend on TikTok and stuff. That was literally me in that coffee shop, and I was absolutely living my best life. I actually tried a new coffee order. I know this is a reading vlog, but I need to put my girlies on this coffee order. I just got an iced coconut latte because I stopped drinking oat milk, and then I got 1 pump of sugar-free hazelnut syrup and then 1 pump of sugar-free brown sugar syrup. It's kind of a weird combo, but it all works and it's so absolutely delicious. But besides that, we need to get into an update. We are basically 50% of the way through. Yes, I binged it. I meant to give you guys an update before I went to the coffee shop, but I was like, things are about to happen, so I need to update you guys after said things happen. So things happened. I shared some quotes with you guys in the little montage because this writing, holy you guys, I'm like so invested. I'm so heartbroken. I'm going through all of the emotions. I feel like this is literally an emotional roller coaster. I quite literally wanted to cry in the coffee shop. I was holding back my tears. I was keeping myself composed because of how heartbreaking this book is, especially the part that we're at currently in this very moment. I genuinely wanted to sob. I wanted to sob in the middle of that coffee shop, and everyone was probably gonna look at me like, why is this girl crying over a book? Because I'm so invested and connected to these fictional characters. You guys have no idea. I feel their sadness like I'm actually experiencing what Emma's experiencing, what Sam's experiencing, what Jesse's experiencing. Like, I can see each person's perspective so clearly, and I can see their side and why they're upset, and I want to side with them, but then I want to side with the other person. Like, it's just a mess, and it's so sad. It is so sad. Oh, it's 11:11, make a wish. But we're on page 192, 49% of the way through. I'm gonna try not to binge this, but like that's where my head is at currently with this book. I'm loving it, but I also want to throw it across the room because I want to start freaking sobbing my eyes out. I genuinely feel so sad right now, and I didn't want to stop reading in there because we're at such a crazy part, but I do have to get to work. So we're gonna continue reading at work, and hopefully I don't cry there because genuinely I don't trust myself to continue reading this without at least tearing up. I knew Taylor Jenkins Reid was gonna pull out my heartstrings, but damn, I didn't know she was already gonna make me want to cry right now. I'm scared to see the ending now, but that's your halfway point update. Hopefully I'll be able to update you guys a little bit more before we finish the book because I feel like I'm gonna have some crazy thoughts. Couldn't even imagine the back and forth that Emma is going through. Like, I can't imagine her thought process. It's just so hard. This is such a hard read. I was not expecting it to be as heart-wrenching as it is. I don't know how it's gonna end. And that is what is making me go crazy right now because I need to know the answer. Okay, update time, official update time. We are on page 289, chapter 35, 73% complete, guys. I'm just out of words. I just feel like my brain is going in circles, the book is going in circles, but not in a bad way. At this point, I'm just trying to figure out what Emma's gonna do and how each character's story is going to end, basically. Because at this point, every single character loses in a way. There is no win-win situation. One person at least is going to end up unhappy, and I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know when that's gonna be. I've never read a book that has me at the edge of my seat, like a psychological thriller, but it's a heartbreaking romance instead. I've never read a book like that in my life. And of course, it's Taylor Jenkins Reid that is the one to do it. I don't know how it's gonna end. And that's kind of where my mind's at. So we're gonna finish it. I'm very nervous. I've teared up way too many times, and I know my heart is gonna hurt for the one that she doesn't choose. What if she chooses none? Or what if she chooses both? That book was crazy. I don't know if it can be a 5-star though. Roller coaster of emotions for real. I need to sit with this one. I need to think. Okay, I've let this book sit with me for all of like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, because I genuinely have been going back and forth in my head about what I want to rate this book, because there's so many factors of why it should be a 5 stars in my brain, but there's also little factors where I'm like, and like I keep questioning myself, and when I keep questioning myself, that should just be the sign that like, okay, this isn't a 5-star read, because I would just know immediately, and I would have this feeling like, oh my god, this is a 5 stars, like this is magical, this is everything, this is perfection. And it was perfection, but I'm not getting that feeling, and for some reason I just can't rate this a 5 star. So I think we're gonna settle on a 4.75 out of 5 stars. That's the closest I can get to a 5 star, and I'm okay with that. I know it's kind of like, girl, just rate it a 5 star or a 4.5. No, this is the one exception. I don't do this very often that it needs to be a 4.75. So I highly recommend you read this book. Like, I know I go on and on and on about loving so many Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, but this is one that you kind of get all of Taylor Jenkins Reid in. Like, you get her amazing writing, her amazing characters, her amazing worlds, and you get that amazing tactic that she uses, that she can pull at your heartstrings and absolutely destroy you, and then still put you back together by the end of it with a good ending. And I'm not saying a good ending in a way that like things are good good. Just you will feel content, or you will just be like, wow, that was amazing. Even if it's the saddest ending ever, even if it's not the ending that you necessarily wanted, like she will still make you feel like, wow, she did an amazing job ending off this book. And that's exactly what she did in this one, along with all of her other books that I've read. So all that is to say, I truly recommend you read this book. Amazing recommendation from you guys. You guys again were right, and I truly love this. But now we need to read our next book, and you guys are going to scream. You guys are going to literally scream, and I'm so sorry that I left this book specifically 2 books into this reading vlog, but you know, I had to build the plot, you know? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I knew at the beginning of this video that I was going to include these books into it, but I wanted to build the plot, you know, like add the suspense. So the next book we are going to read is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Yes, we are finally doing it, you guys. You guys told me I had to, and this is the video that I wanted to shove it in. So we are going to be reading Binding 13. Now I do have 2 editions, as you can see. Obviously this is my favorite edition, but this is the American edition, and she's super floppy and I love her, but she is more gorgeous. I don't know what one I want to read physically. I probably most likely will also be reading this book on my Kindle as well, because it is just such a long book, and when I can't physically see how much of the book I have left, it definitely helps me continue to read it and not put it down as fast. And I'm not saying that I will get that feeling, because I do think I'm really going to enjoy this book. It's just kind of a mental thing of like holding a physical book rather than holding my Kindle. It's just, you know, I'm going on a tangent for no reason. But either way, I'm so excited to finally get into this. The Boys of Tommen series has been an anticipated series for over 2 years now for me. I'm extremely late to getting to read this for the first time, but for all the people that absolutely love this, they're probably mad at me that I get to read this for the first time again. I'm just excited to jump into it. And out of the comments that you guys left, so many of you guys either said Binding 13 or one of the Boys of Tommen series books. So I'm just excited to finally be reading it. The aesthetic of this book just seems so absolutely perfect. It seems like it's something exactly up my alley, and I know we're kind of jumping to another heartbreakingly sad book after just finishing one, but that's just kind of the mood I've been in reading wise lately. Like, I've been reading a lot of more dark, heartbreaking books. I don't know why. I read Before I Let Go, The Correspondent, I'm reading The River is Waiting, I just read One True Loves, and now I'm reading Binding 13. I don't know why I'm in this mood. I think it's the winter time, but either way, I'm kind of loving it. It's just the vibe. So let's dive into this. I will keep you updated with my thoughts. Let's just hope that I don't completely binge it and then forget to update you. First update going on. We did stop in the middle of a chapter. I don't know why it is so hard for me to just continue reading this book. I feel like I've been meaning to give you guys a first update over the past few days, but every single time I go to read it, I just get lost or put it down, and I don't know why. We did make it to page 40. We're on chapter 4 and we're 7% through. I honestly wanted to start reading it on my Kindle because I thought it would like hook me and like this and that, but that's not happening so far, and I honestly just think I need to give it more time. So I'm not gonna really say if I like it or don't like it so far because we're so early into the book still, but we did get to meet Shannon and get to know a little bit about her home life a little bit. She has a lot of brothers and she's the only girl as well, so that already comes with some challenges. She's really close with her mom. Her dad is what seems to be the problem. I did see a lot of that on social media and how Shannon's dad is just really terrible to her, so I'm nervous to see that continue or like get to know her story a little bit more. But at the same time, I feel like it kind of shapes who she is and who she's gonna be throughout the story, so that's exciting. And then Johnny, we just got to really see him for the first time, but they have met in a very unfortunate way. He chucked a rugby ball at her head on her first day of starting the new school, so that's lovely. But I didn't realize how young they were. Like, she's 15 turning 16 and he's 17, I think, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, we're gonna continue reading. We're only 7% of the way through. I wanted to give you guys a first update now and get some of my thoughts out. And lastly, Shannon seems really close with her one brother, so I'm excited to get to know their relationship a little bit more. Like, he seems to protect her in a way, which is super cute, especially from her scary father. So let's continue reading. All my animals just decide to be in this update.
Johnny, Shannon Lynch had eyes the colour of midnight blue that would.
completely forgot that these characters are Irish and it's based in Ireland. And it's taking me so long to get used to this Irish accent in the audiobook.
The minute I laid eyes on her, something had hit me hard in the chest.
Like, I love it, but it's so crazy to me because the pronunciations are so different than how I read it in my head. Like, I've never actually had a conversation with an Irish person before with such a thick accent. So in my head, I'm like rewinding it a few times and I'm like, wait, what did they just say? But like, it's kind of cool how I'm getting like immersed into it. I don't know if I'm going to continue the audiobook though, like moving forward. It's just while I do this fun little craft that I'm working on. But yeah, I just had to say that because I'm like, do I love this or do I hate this right now? I don't know how to feel about it. Update time, finally update time. Well, to you guys, it's literally been like 3 seconds since I last was yapping, but we put a way bigger dent into this book. Let's just say that. I have been switching from the audiobook to Kindle. Haven't really picked up the physical book at all, to be completely honest. I just don't have an interest to read it physically for some weird reason. But because I've been listening to the audiobook so much, I've been home for hours and my dog is acting like I just walked in the door. She's going a little crazy. I lost my train of thought. The audiobook has really helped me get into the story a little bit more because the story is told in dual POV. We do have different voices for the characters and I don't know how to explain it, but I'm having such a hard time getting into this book and I think that's my main problem, but the audiobook has really helped me is what I'm trying to say. Wow, this is all over the place, but we are on page 190, chapter 19. We're 32% complete the book. So since the last time I updated you guys, we have made it much further and we're still getting to know Shannon and Johnny. They don't really have too much history together yet. This is most definitely a slow burn in my opinion. I don't read any slow burns and this is like as close to a slow burn as I've ever gotten to. I've never really been interested in slow burns, so I feel like that's why I don't read them very often. I feel like this book is just moving so slow. And yes, the book is 612 pages. So there's a lot that needs to happen in these 612 pages and a lot of the romance books I read are like half the size of these. So obviously they're much faster paced, but yeah, I don't know. Things are just so slow and I just want to know more. And I think that's good in the sense to keep me hooked to the book, but at the same time I find myself kind of checking out of the book a little bit or putting it down because I'm kind of getting bored, if that makes sense, which is really sad because I obviously had such high hopes for this book. A lot of you guys love it, everyone in the book community loves it, and the fact that I'm feeling a little bit disappointed is making me sad. But then again, we're not even 50% of the way through, so I feel like I still can't form an actual opinion to tell you guys if I like it or if I don't like it. But either way, I'm learning so much about the Irish culture and like them going to school in Ireland and how things are so different there than how I grew up and went to school and stuff like that, so that's super cool. Shannon, my heart hurts for her. She's going through so much family hardship and I feel like this is just the beginning. The pages that I've read so far, my heart hurts for her. And then Johnny is dealing with his own struggles in a completely different way because they're completely different people. We're gonna continue reading. I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it. I hope that I start loving it more and maybe we'll just talk again at the 50% mark. I feel like that will be a good point for me to update you guys on. You guys, we've officially made it to our halfway point. We're 49% done this book. We're on chapter 32, page 297. We've officially made it to the point where I can officially have opinions. And I'm honestly just not loving this book as much as I thought I was going to. I feel like I have said this every single update that I sit down and talk to you guys, but genuinely it is the truth. And part of me feels so disappointed and part of myself also just feels like maybe I shouldn't have had such high expectations going into this book. Not only that, but this book is extremely long. Reading a 600-page romance book and not absolutely loving it, I'm like, it's not the best. But besides that, we are still getting to know Johnny and Shannon. They have like little interactions here and there, but Johnny's really not allowed to talk to Shannon because of like how he's perceived. He's a rugby player. He's just like kind of an asshole in a way. At least that's how Shannon's mother looks at him. Besides like the Tommen school and kind of like the ins and outs of what it's like to go to the private school, the rugby team, kind of the rugby players, and then obviously Johnny's situation with girls fangirling over him and Shannon's home life, I feel like that's kind of what we're getting. And it's not boring per se, but I need more. I either need more drama, I need it to be a little bit faster paced, like I don't know what I need, but it needs something. We are at the 50% mark, so we have half of the book left. I'm excited to see what happens in the second half. I don't know if it's gonna end on like a cliffhanger or like if we're gonna feel some sort of closure. I don't know, but I'm curious to see, and hopefully by my next update I will be enjoying the book more than I am right now. Right now it's probably sitting at 3 stars, like 3 stars most. That's so sad to say, but it's the truth. Oh yeah, don't mind that. My shelves fell and broke. Super sad about that. That happened like a few days ago and I need to go buy new shelves, so you can look at the lovely blank wall. But we have an update because we are 70% done this book. We're on chapter 46, page 414, okay? So we're getting further. We're pushing to the end. It has gotten a lot better. I feel a little bit more connected to the characters. I'm more in the story, or like I want to know what's going to happen. I just think because it's so long, it's so dragged out. So every single scene that we have of these characters, or even the side characters, it's like 30 pages long of one scene, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's being so dragged out. But obviously that makes sense. Like you gotta fill something with the 615 pages, right? So I think that's really my only downside still. But Johnny and Shannon, they're super cute. They're still like getting to know each other, you know? They're still like beating around the bush, hiding their feelings from each other, not from like their friends and family. The friends and family of each other knows what's going on. But to them, Johnny's like, I don't know if she likes me back. I don't know. It's like, Johnny, she's obsessed with you. But I'm curious to see what spot Chloe Walsh is gonna end off on, and also just how everything's gonna end with Shannon's family, because wow, that is still such a messy situation. And like I said at the beginning, I knew it was gonna get worse. Oh, it has gotten much worse. Oh, but we did meet Johnny's mom, and Johnny's mom is one of my favorite characters. She's giving the mom from Mean Girls, I forget her name, but she is literally giving the mom from Mean Girls, just like instead of her being a girl mom, she's a boy mom. Oh, it is just so perfect, so iconic, and we just kind of met her. I hope that she sticks around for the rest of the book because she's hilarious. Other than that, there's not too much more I can really update you guys on. We're still kind of just going through the motions of the same thing over and over again. So that's all I really got. But we're gonna finish the book. Hopefully I'll update you guys maybe once more before I finish it. Even though we are 70% through, we still have like 200 pages left to read. So there's a lot that could go down. These last few chapters are getting so intense. This ending is gonna be chaotic. It has to be with everything that's going on. I'm actually nervous to finish it. That was terrible. I am actually so pasty, I need a tan. We are gonna get into that whole reaction that you just watched. Yeah, we're gonna get into that, don't you worry, but I am gonna give you guys a quick little recap of all the books that we ended up reading in this reading vlog. If you're not new to the reading vlogs, you know that this is a hashtag staple, just to see if my ratings changed on anything and give you guys some like final thoughts now that everything has really sunk in, except for obviously the book we just finished. So we did end up reading 3 books in this reading vlog. I did want to include one more, but I'm just really excited to get this reading vlog out to you guys. But I'm so happy that I got to include you guys in today's reading vlog. You guys literally delivered with so many amazing recommendations that I still am gonna read, even if yours wasn't included in this reading vlog. Don't you worry, they're still stored in my mind and I will get around to them eventually, and maybe we can do like a part 2 of this. Let me know if you might want that. Getting into our recap, we started off our reading vlog by starting and finishing Shatter Me by an author's name I literally cannot pronounce. I don't want to butcher it, but guys, I finished my first ever fantasy book. I am still in disbelief that I was able to do it. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you've been around for a long time, I'm not a fantasy girly, but because I was able to finish this and we did end up rating it a 4 out of 5 stars, I'm not only going to continue this series, but maybe it's helped me get out of my shell a little bit or get out of my head when I think about fantasy. So maybe this is the year we do slowly become a fantasy girly. I don't know, but this was really enjoyable. I feel like the only reason that I didn't enjoy it more was because we didn't really get too much out of this book. I know that the next few books will definitely pick up. There's definitely going to be more action. There's definitely going to be more to the characters, you know? Like this was just kind of like a setup book, which obviously it hooked me and obviously I enjoyed. So this is staying a 4 out of 5. I'm so happy I read it, and thank you to all of you that have been yelling at me to read it for the past like year. Then we picked up One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now I knew I was going to already enjoy this book before going into it. I just fall in love with her more and more every book I read. We did rate this a 4.75 out of 5 stars, and it is definitely staying that because I was so heartbreakingly sad and happy when I finished this book. I still am thinking about it, and it has become one of my favorites that I've read by her of all time. So highly recommend this, and again, thank you guys for telling me to read this because it was on my radar for a long time, but I just kind of kept pushing it off, or I would pick up a different book by her instead of this one. And then to finish off our reading vlog, we finally read Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Yeah, so my reaction to the ending was not good, and that is because I don't know how to feel about this book, you guys. I think because it was so anticipated and because it was 615 pages long, I just really wanted a good ending, or I really wanted something from the ending, and I feel like I got absolutely nothing. Now I know that this is the first one, and obviously keeping 13, because this ended on a cliffhanger, is going to explain a little bit more and obviously keep the story going, but knowing I just read 615 pages from these characters and then getting an ending like that, I was just so aggravated and annoyed. I'm not even gonna lie, I was so annoyed. Like I didn't even include the audio of what I was saying in my reaction because I was so annoyed. Ugh, I did not enjoy this. I honestly think that if I read this in maybe like grade 9, grade 10, so I don't even know how old I would be, I would have enjoyed this a lot more rather than reading it at the ripe age of 20. I know I'm not an adult, I know I'm not super mature, but this book just felt so annoying to me. Like the characters felt super icky, their romance felt icky, just like their problems and their drama, it just was so immature, and I know that they're young. Having these characters be 15, 16, 17, like they're just way too young for me to be reading about, and the way that it was written made me feel that way even worse. I just didn't love it. And I feel like the ending really solidified that for me. Like throughout my updates, I was like, okay, this isn't the best, but like it's gonna get better. Or I'm gonna give it more of a chance, or maybe I'm being too hard on the book. No, I just need to accept it and come to conclusion that it wasn't for me. It wasn't my favorite. So am I gonna read the second one? I don't know. I'm not gonna rush to read it. I mean, it took me 2 years just to read this one. And the fact that I didn't love this makes me just not want to read the second one even more. Even though it did end on a cliffhanger. And the last scene was like, wow, this is what I was waiting for earlier in the book. And then it just ends. And I'm like, ugh, I can't. I don't want to think about the book anymore. So I am going to rate it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. That's me being nice. I was gonna rate it a 2, but then I was like, nah, I put up with it for 615 pages. It can get a 2.5, you know? So super sad to end off on a bad note, but I'm still happy that I read it. Bad ending or not, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's reading vlog. It was a series of emotions, and we did end up reading 2 really good books, so I feel like it was a good reading vlog overall. Maybe? I don't know. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 of this. Again, I had so much fun filming this, and if you guys did enjoy it, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you guys know what to do. Don't forget to check out my vlog channel link down below. All the lifestyle, fitness, travel content over there for you guys, along with all my other social media handles, which are linked down below in the description. But other than that, I hope you guys are having such an amazing amazing, wonderful day. I love you guys with my whole entire heart, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Slay, we love it. I'm nervous. I love how I said I was gonna go into a blind and then completely just read the whole back. It's fine. I am actually so pale. I look like a ghost. Ah, stay. Please stay. What is this lighting? Ah. That's better, sort of. But yeah, if you get sick of seeing my car, I'm sorry. All snow and like all the trees have... No, Gianna, there's snow on the ground, but there's no snow on the trees. I don't really have clear thoughts, as you can see by my freaking explanations. Why do I feel like I can't talk today? I don't know. I don't know. We finished a fantasy book. For once, I was right about something. Less than 25%. Or 25%. Yeah, we have like 25% left. Did I do the math right on that? Okay, I have let this book wow. Okay, Rosie. Rosie, what are you doing? Rosie's here to say hi. Hi. Oh, Rosie's here to say hello, as always.
And several more before I found them.
I feel like I could have a whole conversation with an Irish person. Wow. I'm done talking.